Okay, and we are recording. It is the 19th of February. This is my first time making video footage, and you can see we're a bit full in here, so I'm going to try and work around it and see how we get on. What I want to do is some videos just about me in the garage talking nonsense, show you what I'm up to. As a bit of a disclaimer, actually, this is not intended as official advice. If you want to do anything on your own bike, you should always look in the owner's manual, seek professional advice. This is just what I do, and it works all right for me, but if you want to find some professional help, that would always be my advice. In these videos, I think what I'll do is a brief explanation of what I'm doing, what bike I'm working on, and we'll go from there. So at the moment, we're on the Devitt Vanoni Moto Edit Ducati 900 flat track bike. It's had a rebuild of sorts. We've got a new frame from Survivor Customs. We've got the original engine, what I ran last year, original wheels. We're changing forks. I'm having the shock rebuilt shortly. Loads of stuff happening. But today, what I want to do, I need a bit of a tidy up actually. You can see we're a bit full in here. Hopefully that'll improve over time. But today, what we're going to do is tidy all the junk up. And I need to check the travel on the swinging arm. So I'll have to loosen all the shock off, take the spring out so I can move the swinging arm all the way up so we're not getting any clearance issues there. Once I've done that, I need to find where I'm going to put the battery. But we'll get to that bit. Anyway, so I'm going to start tidying up and we'll work through this as we go. There's lots of stuff I want to do on the bike, but time is of the essence. It's February. First race is April. Not far away at all. If anybody wants to see anything specific, just add a comment. Is that what YouTube people do? Add a comment? I don't know. But yeah, let me know if there's anything specific you want to see me working on, or anything you want me to try and explain about any of my bikes or any of the races that we do. I suppose you probably want an explanation of who I am. There might be people watching this who don't know me. Maybe. My name's Joey anyway. Joey Brindley. You'll find me usually in the winter racing at Mablethorpe, and in the summer I race with the DTRA racing the Flat Track Nationals. In the daytime I am an engineer, a machinist, so making special bits for the bikes is fairly easy for me because I have the right equipment. Not for any other reason than that, because I'm a doofus most of the time. But anyway, and when I'm not riding, I like talking about bikes. I like looking at them, figuring out how stuff works. I appreciate the engineering of bikes. I think that's why I like the Ducati so much. That bit. The Desmo engines just have always fascinated me. The sound, the lovely rattly dry clutch is a divider. Everyone loves that or hates it, but I don't know, I like it. Sounds cool. I don't know what else we're talking about today while I'm just doing the menial stuff of tidying up. What does everyone else do that makes them happy? I like this. It makes me happy. We could add some music or something, couldn't we? Like some lift music while I'm doing this. It's really tedious and boring. Anyway, I think that is tidy enough for what I want to do. I need my measuring stuff. I wonder how's the angle look as well. Do we like this sort of aerial look so you can see everything? Bit of a glare from these though, I think, when I looked at the preview. I don't know, we'll sort that. Any help appreciated with these sorts of things though. I've never done any videos before. I've never talked on camera before. So yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see how it turns out. So what I'm going to have to do is chock the rear of the engine up so it all doesn't fall this way when I loosen the shock. So I'm going to have to find some bits of wood or something to jack the back of the engine up. I'm sure we've got something somewhere. That might do it. Let's find something else. Yeah, there we go. That should do it. It is strapped down onto the bench so it won't fall off. That's another important thing to mention really. If you're working on your bikes in your garage, just be safe, don't be an idiot. You can hurt yourself pretty easily, especially with them on a bench. You don't want it falling over and landing on you. So I'm going to loosen all the shock off. It's already loose, it was just hand tight. I'll loosen this off and then hopefully should be able to get the shock spring out of there and modulate the whole rear suspension so I can see what sort of clearance we've got, if any. I'll undo that top nut all the way up until it stops. It's good to run the nut up and down the thread as well, actually, make sure that the thread stays clean. That goes up, that goes up. Slide that out. And hopefully that will be enough clearance for it to... Okay, so some sort of measuring device. Seems I'm an engineer, you'd think I'd measure things really accurately with like something precise. But I usually just use a tape measure because I'm lazy. I always find the easiest way of doing things. But I need to know how that's all the way up, the bump stops compressed, everything, and we have got about 50mm below the frame rail. And that's in the middle of the adjustment. If the wheel goes any further forward, will it be nearer? No, not really. 50mm. Okay. So now I have to figure out where I'm going to put the battery. Probably could use a smaller battery, but then I'd have to buy one. I don't want to have to do that. I was thinking here, but then the fuel tank is going here, and that's not leaving much room. The guys often have them like on the side somewhere, don't they? Like there? Does that look stupid? Is it stuck out? That in there. Over in front of the car. I wanted the weight further back, but that might be the most sensible place for it to go. I wanted the weight. The idea was to get all the weight further back. Because that was one of the problems we had last year with the old Ducati. If anyone saw that one, I'll probably stick a picture in the video or something. She was quite forward heavy. It was all on the front. So I was turning in and finding that I didn't really have much feel for the front until it went. So it was all, the engine weight was all forwards. So trying to get everything back a bit, get the front up and get it feeling a bit lighter on the front. Now Max at Venoni has kindly done me some body work. This is, I think, maybe it was a sample off of the 1100. I'm not sure. I think that fits pretty nicely. Where else can I put the battery? Because there isn't much room in anywhere. How about tucked up there? I don't know. That might work. Anyway, I don't think it's going to work putting it right at the back because I need the space for the fuel tank, otherwise I won't have enough fuel capacity. And that is no good. The fuel tank's going there because the carbs are there. Interesting. Something for me to ponder the next couple of days. I need to get my finger out. Also, what I want to do today is take the spindles out. And anything else, I might need to have bright zinc coated. Because that'll look cool and it won't go rusty. I think I'll have the controls and everything done bright zinc, but I haven't made those yet. So they'll probably not get done straight away. I might need a couple of goes at doing those. We'll see. These are the forks I'm going to use. I think these are scrambler, standard scrambler forks. I like them because we'll be able to get all the bits that we need to rebuild them easily. They're still in great nick, they've hardly got any miles on them at all. And they come with their own fork guards ready on there. All I'm going to do is a simple step of just making some yokes, obviously. Because why would I make it easy for myself? Well, no, they'll look cool. All black. Everything blacked out. So another thing I need to work out is colour scheme. I've got a good friend of mine who's going to paint the fairing. But we're going to stick, I think, to Max's colours. Bit of a nod to the guys that help him. But I'm open Fridays on that as well. Getting the commenty bits. Do a like, do a share, whatever it is they say. I don't know. Anyway, onwards and upwards. I think what I'm going to do is take the rear wheel. I'm going to put that spring back so it doesn't all collapse in and trap my fingers. I'm going to take the rear wheel out. Check that the new disc fits. So I've made the bracket and everything, so that all fits nicely. Check that fits. Then I can take the spindle out, take that for bright zinc. And the front spindle, I'm going to take that out. I'm sure I can find some other bits that probably won't do in, but anyway, that can wait. Right, put this spring back. A little slidey in collary bit. Slide everything up, the spacers and all that jazz. Slide the bump stop out of the way. And that should just pop in. Everything's sunk down a bit. There we go. Get it all back on there so it doesn't all fall back in on me. Well, I'll tell you what I should do. I should probably measure all the rear end before I start taking it to bits again. But then I need to weigh it as well. There's no point sending the suspension off to be done before I've weighed it. I can't do that until I've got everything on there, at least mocked up in some sort of fashion. Okay. I'm finding this quite therapeutic actually. I've never done this before. It's quite easy just talking my nonsensical rubbish. That should be enough on there, stop it folding up. Okay, rear wheel out. Hold that, fold that up out of the way. Show you some of my nice little machining bits on here actually. Is that tight? Yes, it's tight. 30, not 32. Undo that. Hope it doesn't spin all the way through. No, it doesn't. Okay. There's another thing I want to learn to do. Put the tools away when I've finished with them. I'm really bad at that. Okay. Pop that spindle out. Yeah, man. There you go. Ooh. Everything seems to move. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I made these little spacers that go inside the swinging arm, stop it crushing. So right diameter so it doesn't rattle about. Nice slide fit, and then some little caps go on the end of the swinging arm. Just hole through a piece of threaded bar. Use that, and that's to adjust your chain forwards and backwards. Nice and easy, simple. Everyone likes little billet aluminium, nicely machined stuff that looks clean. Rear spindle going for bright zinc. That's one. How long do people like videos to be? I've been recording 17 minutes now. I don't know anything about YouTube. Like, how long do people sit and watch for? How long should an episode be? I mean, 20 minutes? I don't know. Okay, so that is the rear wheel out. I can try the disc on there. Is that tight? No. That's not tight, so I can take this off and show you. It's, I'm quite proud of it. It's very pretty. Christ, how long's this bolt? Oh, that went dropping out. Okay, so the bracket for the rear brake caliper, which is, I believe, Panigale. The bracket was supplied to me by Max that was intended to go on another bike, but it didn't quite fit. I had to just make some small modifications to make it fit. Incorporated that with a hard spacer, that's steel as opposed to the rest of it's aluminium, and that's to stop it, as it's sliding backwards and forwards in there during wheel changes and stuff, it doesn't just completely wear away and turn to mush. I did, however, make this lovely torque arm. That's just a single piece of aluminium. The ends are threaded for the nice little rose joints. I call them rose joints. I don't know what this is a proper name for them. That's what we call them. I think they're M8. Yeah, M8. And then just milled slots in it and some little lining holes, because there is nothing lighter than a hole. So that's fast, obviously, like me. Okay, so anyway, just wanted to show you that. It's a nice little thing that'll go on the bike. People enjoy looking at that sort of thing. Okay, so let's have a look at this rear wheel. I have never had this disc off, so I'm hoping these bolts come undone. I don't know how long they've been on there. I don't know if Max put new ones on. What size is that? 6. Short, yeah, okay. Ooh, they are fucking tight. Oh, well, that one wasn't. I was slack. Okay, interesting. It's, oh, painless. Might just be the one that's tight. We'll get round to that one last. What I think I might do with these, just because it's a little bit more racy and looks cool as well, I might drill the bolt heads for some lock wiring. So that's the other thing I'm going to do with these. All these bolts, I've drilled the heads so I can lock wire all three of those together, and to stop them, if they do come loose, then they can't rotate and undo. The brake's not going to fling off and wreck the whole bike and throw me down the road or anything daft like that. But it's just a safety thing. Anyone who's into race bikes will have seen it. It's just something that you do to just make it a bit safer. Save yourself from embarrassment when it all falls to bits because you've built the bike yourself. Okay, this is a bit tight, so I have to watch my eyes here. There we go. I know a person who lost an eye because an Allen key snapped. So, you have been warned. They are not fun things. The T-bar now, they're loose. There we go. One. Two. Who the hell puts 8 bolts? 3, 6. Oh, okay. 6 still seems excessive. I don't really know much about road bikes. I've always worked on motocross bikes, and I'm sure my 450 is just 4 bolts. I don't know. Maybe it holds it straighter. So that's the old one. I'll compare this to the new one, so you can see why we're doing this. Okay, you can see the difference in size. It's about 20mm bigger, something like that. Similar thickness. It's not brand new. It's come off of one of Jack Bell's bikes from last year, but it's really good nick. There's no wear on there, just a bit of discoloration. Absolutely poker straight, so perfectly good to use. Probably better that it's had a few heat cycles through it already anyway. Okay, so Max has very kindly written which way out. And it bolts straight on. Beautiful. I don't know, we could speed a bit of this up in the edit, I suppose. Might be able to. No one wants to see me winding bolts in and out. Quickly do this. The other thing, I don't know if people prefer to have music over the top of videos. I have no idea. I know there's like copyright things and stuff on YouTube, but I wouldn't know where to source music that's, you know, just able to use willy-nilly. I don't know. I've had a few Instagram posts stop because they've had externally imported music. I don't want that to happen to videos when I'm just starting out, so I'll not do any music for now. But again, if anyone has experience with that, just let me know. Add a comment, message me, find me on Instagram. In fact, I think they're not tight, but tight enough so I can demonstrate that my bracket is exactly the right size because we measured everything perfectly, didn't we? With a tape measure. Ah. Okay. Don't need the adjusters in because I'm just offering it up. the moment of truth. Why is that not fit? Oh, there we go. Everything is a nice snug fit, which is good. We don't want wear built in. Spindle is in. Disc is sat absolutely perfectly. Pads. Slight bit of side to side play because I've got nothing tightened up. It's not, it's in the middle of the caliper and in the middle of the pads. I'd call that a success. Cool. Right. Next job, spindle out, front spindle out. Let's get everything ready for bright zinc. Get the nut. I think I might pin the nut on that end. I think that's just a Ducati thing. Never noticed it on any other bikes where both ends of the rear spindle are threaded. There's a short thread on one side and a longer thread on the other. So all I've done, just because I was fed up of both the nuts coming undone and then you couldn't get it to spindle out, so I wound the nut on the short end all the way to the end of the thread and got it tight so it doesn't just come undone when you're undoing the other end. I don't know, I might pin that on there. Or weld it. Could just put a nice little weld in there before we send it away. Just to make it simple. All race bikes should be simple. Simple to fix, simple to work on. So in between races, when stuff's going wrong, because it always does, you can fix it. Easy as that. He says. Okay. This should be fairly simple because it's only just sort of sat in there. Finger tight. Perfect. Knock that out. Anyway, right. I'm going to call it a day there for the video. But if anybody has any ideas, anything they want me to talk about specifically, current affairs, politics, money, religion, they're all banned. I don't want to talk about any of them. There's 1,000,001 things you could watch to learn about those. But no, anything that you want me to talk about, yeah, hit the buttons and do the typey thing. I'm all cool with that. Going back to what these are all about, I'm just an amateur mechanic working on my bikes in the garage, basically for fun. If you want to learn about the specifics of mechanics, if you want to learn about how to change your oil or how to do your tyre pressures or anything like that, it's probably the wrong place. I'm not going to be that specific. There's, again, thousands of videos all teaching you that kind of stuff. I'm just going to talk rubbish while I'm working on my bike. And if you like that, then cool. If not, scroll on. Look at something else. I'm not interested. This is more for me than anybody else, so all cool. And good night.